We call it folate. Folate's really important because it helps you repair DNA damage, right? So if you have a lot of inflammation, oxidative stress, cancer, you name it, right? You have damage to your body, you got to repair it, especially on the DNA level. So when you take, folate, right, in the synthetic form of folic acid, F-O-L-I-C, right, it has a problem where your body doesn't really convert it really well. And what happens is when you have enough folic acid from fortified foods, well, you get a clog. When this clog happens, right, you have a problem with making actual folate that your body needs, and you have a problem with B12. So how do you avoid this problem in the first place, right? First thing you gotta do, right, is avoid any food that's fortified. So for a lot of people in America, right, in the United States, it's gonna be, the breads, it's gonna be the pastas, it's gonna be the enriched flour. This enriched flour has a bunch of, it's got vitamins. Now you think, oh, well, it's great, that's awesome. It's gonna make me healthier. It's gonna have no deficiencies. On the contrary, what happens is a lot of these added, B vitamins, right? They're actually synthetic. And because they're synthetic, your body can't really use it right. It's not able to be utilized for proper function, right? And if anything, you have what I call a metabolic clog. So you're getting fake B1, you're getting fake B3, you're getting fake B7, and so on, right? But what's really problematic about folic acid is people that are, trying to get healthier, right? Let's say you're low energy, right? Let's say your sleep is suffering. Let's say your skin isn't looking any better. But oftentimes I'm really concerned about folic acid for women, especially if you're pregnant. So one of the biggest signs, right, of having a problem with your folate is women that have, nice, beautiful hair that over time becomes thinner and starts breaking more. And you realize your hair isn't as strong as it is. You could be doing, all the collagen, all the vitamin C. You could be doing the keratin, all these things, right? That's supposed to help your hair, right? If you notice your hair isn't getting better, you more than likely have a problem with your methylation because you're getting too much folic acid, the synthetic folate. It's clogging your methylation pathways because your body has to convert that into actual usable, folate. So to avoid this problem, you'd have to eat, flour, bread, pastas that aren't fortified, which is really hard to find, but you can find them out there. So that's one of my biggest recommendations for that. I tell people if you're gonna eat bread, do a sourdough bread, like an actual real sourdough bread that, takes time to rise and, it ferments and the bacteria goes in there and it eats up the gluten. So if you're a person who eats a lot of bread, this might be a problem for you because of the fortification. So now that's out of the way. So what do you do with all this unmetabolized folic acid? Because it just accumulates in your body, right? It's not like other things that, you just piss it out, you pee it out. No, it stays in your body, it stays in your blood, and your body has to wait, right? It's a long, long line, right? And you gotta wait until all that's metabolized, and then your body can actually, move on with the methylation. So usually the cheat code for this is to use a supplement, right? So you're talking about a methylfolate, right? Methylfolate is great for a lot of people, right, that have this problem because you get to bypass the part where the folic acid has to be metabolized and converted into a methylfolate for your body to use. So if you can, get a methylfolate, use one every day, and you should notice a big improvement in your hair, in your mood, in your health, and even when you metabolize food, you should feel a lot better. And for some people, right, they have autoimmunity or they have like previous damage to their body, right? Because again, right, you're activating your DNA to repair it with excision-based repair. And for a lot of people, that really moves the needle if you have autoimmunity and you have a sort of disrupted, immune system. So that should help you a lot. The other one also tell people to do, right, if you're relatively healthy and you can pull it off, is going to be a calcium folinate. So it works just as good as the methylfolate, except, I'm a big believer in having your body do some of the work. Because your body, as we know, if you take too many of certain supplements, your body starts producing certain things in your body. Because you're reliant on the supplementations, which can make you weaker in the long run, right? You want to have a self-resilient body, not a body that's really weak and pathetic that can only survive off of certain supplements. Your body has the ability to do conversions, and that's the whole reason why I tell people, right, if you can, you're able to do calcium folinate or folinic acid, not folic acid, two different things. But for most people, methylfolate's going to be fine. It's the most popular one. I recommend, everyone take it because you're going to feel a big difference in your health. You're going to be happier. And especially in this, time, right, of May, because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, it's going to help you with your mood. It'll take time, right, because you got to process all that unmetabolized folic acid. But if you take a methylfolate, you can bypass a lot of that and you get the benefits. And it's one of those things you can't really find much in food anymore, unless you eat a ton of beans. But again, right, if you're already clogged from the folic acid, then eating actual folate will take time because you got to process all that stuff out. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'm happy to answer it. For a lot of people, folate's the most important thing you can do, right? And I'm not even talking about, the motherfucker gene, right? The methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase enzyme. There's a genetic mutation in which your folate gets reduced. So, there's a test for that. You get tested for that, but I think it's unnecessary. You don't really need to get tested for that. Just take a methylfolate and you'll be fine. So one thing I tell people is it's the greatest gift you could give someone, right? Even if, you do everything wrong, you don't give a shit about your health, you really don't give a shit about your health, right? You don't do supplements, you don't do healthy, drink a lot of sodas, whatever, right? If you take a methylfolate, you'll notice a profound change in your health. You're going to feel better, you're going to feel healthier. Give it to your grandparents, give it to your parents, because you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, right, you want to do better, you want to get healthier, because you just got a taste of what being healthy feels like. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you can, like, retweet, whatever. You can share this video. I don't really care. I'm just doing this to help people, right? To avoid the folic acid clog, right? Because people have problems with their health and we got to get healthier as a generation. So the next generation could be even healthier than our generation. Solve the problems that we can't solve. We can have a better life. And I just recently made a coffee. If you want to donate to me, I should have made one like 2 years ago, but I just barely did one. I make a lot of free videos, every week, free content. I don't try and paywall things. Only thing I paywall is my coaching, which is one-on-one personal consultation. But that's different. I'm just talking about, what I do on social media. I have a lot of videos going back maybe like 2 years. So yeah, watch my videos. If you like them, watch them, give them a like, leave a comment. I still answer questions. And if you're really grateful that my videos have had an impact on your health, on your life, and you're doing much better, then yeah, give me a donation. Leave a tip, because I would help people. And, I just want people to have a better life, a healthier life. So thank y'all. God bless y'all. I hope this helps you a lot. And yeah, take it easy and be amazing. Goodbye.